funeral is about to begin, sir.
I think we just picked up Dracula. It's got a death curse.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Welcome back to another episode of Never Not Horror. I am Steve Clark.
And I am Rich Hansel.
And we are back with another deep dive movie review. This time it is episode number 30 of the deep dive reviews. And this time it was my turn to pick. If you tuned in last week to Quick Cuts, then you already know what it is. If you don't, I chose a new to me movie that I had never seen. And Rich, you had seen it, but it had been a very long time.
Very long time.
So pretty fresh for him too. But we are looking at 1981's Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, summertime, carnival season, it feels good.
It does feel
good. So, if you're new to the show, we do our deep dive movie reviews in 4 sections. We will open up with our history with the movie. Then we'll get into some fun fact, cast and crew, behind the scenes kind of stuff. And then at that point, we will get into a full plot walkthrough with spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, you're going to want to take a time out, go watch it. In this case, this was not readily available. It's available, but it's not streaming for free anywhere that I could find.
Yeah.
So I bought it digitally on Fandango at home because I figured I would watch it more than once, and I did. And I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll watch it again down the road. Mm-hmm. So Rich has the Blu-ray sitting on the table here with us now.
Yep.
So you can do it that way. You can rent it, buy it digitally, buy it physical, but it's not streaming on any of the major servers. So yeah, if you haven't seen it and you want to watch it yourself before we walk through it with you, then you're gonna have to do that. And then after we've done the walkthrough, we will give our official Never Not Horror Howls rating and review. So, as I said, I have no history with this movie. I wasn't even very familiar with it until kind of recently. Tobe Hooper is a legend of horror with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Absolutely.
Poltergeist are kind of the big 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done a lot of other things, but it's kind of trailed more. I think if you take away those two, he's more of a lesser known. His movies are lesser known, but he's very well known.
Right.
So this movie didn't really come onto my radar until a few years. I think probably reading the Wikipedia page of Tobe Hooper, but it's definitely right up my alley. I mean, I always amusement park carnival stuff has always been a hell of a setting for me for a horror movie. So always into that. But yeah, I had never seen the movie. I feel like maybe if a few years ago it had been streaming on something and I might have started it and fell asleep, didn't finish it or whatever, which we said before is no knock on quality ever.
Right.
We just fall asleep.
Yeah.
We're older fellas, so we don't have that youthful energy we used to. So yeah, I have no history with this other than maybe seeing a little bit of it a few years ago. It might have been on Shudder or something at the time, but But since I became aware of it, it's definitely been on my radar and felt like a good time to pull the trigger and give it a good critical viewing, and we'll get into all that. So, Rich, what about you?
I don't remember when I saw this. If I saw, I just can't remember, but I did watch it last year during Halloween season. It was streaming on one of the platforms.
I know it was not that long ago because I was annoyed when I went to find it this time and it wasn't there.
So, but it was never one that was really talked about a lot. That the poster art I don't think was like very grabbing. When we was renting VHS tapes at it just.
I wonder if because the Blu-ray that you have, that cover is not the same as the cover that's on like the digital cover of it, which is just the clown thing.
Yeah.
That's a cooler cover than the other one.
So it really wasn't a memorable cover when you're trying to pick out your VHS at your local rental store, but But last year, like I mentioned, I did watch it. I have put it on before, and like Steve says, I fall asleep a lot to movies, and this is no exception. But last year, I did watch it all the way through, and so that's really my history with it. Not one that we watched a whole heck of a lot, which it's kind of surprising because when you read the premise of the movie, it sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's very much in our wheelhouse. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it and let you know my thoughts and get your thoughts and see how we line up. So, all right. Well, in a case like this where we don't have much history, we'll move right along. So we'll go ahead and get into some behind the scenes fun fact, cast and crew stuff. So here we go.
Come closer. Let's take a look behind the curtain.
So yeah, like we said, The Funhouse came out in 1981, directed by Tobe Hooper. Special effects by one Mr. Rick Baker. Mm-hmm. He is a legend. And
I think what's his name? Bottin.
Rob Bottin.
I think he helped out on it a little bit. Maybe.
Did he? Okay.
I thought I heard that.
It could be. I saw Rick Baker came up on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He definitely could have been assisted.
He was the main.
Yeah. And it stars Elizabeth Berridge as Amy, Cooper Huckabee as Buzz, Largo Woodruff as Liz, Miles Chapin as Richie Chapin, Wayne Doba plays the monster, which that's what he's credited as. Mm-hmm. Kevin Conway is the Freak Show Barker, and then Sylvia Miles plays Madame Xena. It's a large cast, a lot of people in this, but those are the ones I hit on. So, and obviously, like we said, Tobe Hooper, legend, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist. As far as
Salem's Lot,
yes, mm-hmm. Yep, don't sleep on that one. As far as the actors go, like our four teens in the movie, like nothing. I got nothing on any of these guys. I was not familiar at all. Kevin Conway, who plays the Barker, he's like a character actor that you've seen in a lot of things, but he's usually never the main attraction.
He's a voice actor too.
Yeah, so he was probably the most familiar person to me in the whole thing.
I do know Sylvia Miles was in the Sentinel. Do you remember her being in the Sentinel?
Now that you say that, yes, because I just saw the Sentinel this past year for the first time. She's with Beverly D'Angelo, they're like that weird couple thing. Yeah, I did not put that together when I watched this though. Okay, all right, I'm with you. So yeah, nothing really to add. I think the cast is good. We'll get into that. I think it's solid. There's a lot of very similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. Yeah.
What would have been 7 years earlier, 7 years earlier. Just no real big names in this. Some fun fact stuff I got here. We'll go through stuff I took note of.
I got a few things as well.
I did read. So Dean Koontz wrote the novelization of this movie.
Oh, really?
Under a pen name. I did not write the pen. It's Owen something, I think. And so the book is called The Funhouse, and I've read Dean Koontz. It's been since re-released under his own name. Mm-hmm. I read that book when I was a teenager or my 20s, and I had never seen this movie, so I didn't know that it was a novelization. And so what is interesting, because the movie had production delays, so the book ended up coming out first, causing a lot of people to think the movie was based on his book, but it's not. The book was written as the novelization of the movie, which it has, from what I remembered of the book, it had a lot of different stuff, so almost serves as kind of a prequel to the movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Dean Koontz book, The Funhouse, is the novelization of this movie. So that's interesting. Yeah. Which is quite the coincidence, since there's a Dean Koontz book sitting on the table right now. Yeah. We'll probably talk about that on Quick Cuts.
Yeah.
So there was that. I read that Tobe Hooper turned down an offer from Steven Spielberg to direct E.T. because he was working on The Funhouse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which he did this, but later he would do Poltergeist with Steven Spielberg. So it came back around for him. There was an accident during filming with one of the carnival rides where it was like Kings Island has one, like the monster, the octopus looking thing. Yeah. And they had like extras for the carnival scenes riding that, but that's only meant to run for like 4 minutes, and they had them on it for like a half an hour, and people started getting sick and throwing up, and there were people having like some muscle issues, like getting kind of kinked up from being on that thing too long.
I watched the director's commentary on the Blu-ray, and he was talking. Toby Hooper was talking about it. He was, and it was like during the spot where they was smoking dope behind the
behind the tent.
Yeah, and because that's one long cut, and but he kept making them do it over, but he didn't shut the ride off.
Just messing these people up.
So they were on the ride for that long. For like,
I love those kind of rides. Like I'm a big fan of like the Scrambler.
Yeah,
I like to spin in circles and stuff.
He actually, Toby Hooper actually said, "I felt something wet hit me." It was vomit from one of the people that puked on the as he was, directing the movie.
Nice. So yeah, that would be a fun story to tell, that you were an extra in a Toby Hooper movie and you got sick and threw up because he left you on a carnival ride for too long. There is a scene in this movie where there is a girl's like a peep show tent or like sideshow thing, and I read that the girls in the peep show tent were local strippers from Miami.
Yep,
where it was filmed. Talked about Kevin Conway. He actually plays 3 different people in this movie. He plays 3 different carnival barkers. He's the freak show barker, the Funhouse, and the peep show barker.
Yeah.
And I did not catch it the first time I saw the freak show and the Funhouse.
Yeah.
He looks pretty similar, but he's sort of in disguise in the peep show one. But
yeah. And I heard that when Toby Hooper, when he auditioned for one of the barkers, Kevin Conway actually told Toby Hooper, "I only take this if I can do all 3 of them." So he's like, "Oh, fuck it.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Do it." The last thing I had in here, well, not the last thing. Well, yeah, we'll get there. But the Wayne Doba, who plays the monster, was a former tap dancer and mime, and this was his film debut.
Wow.
Yeah. So those were just some little fun fact things I picked up on trivia sections of IMDb.
I have a few on here. I have, it was shot in Miami because of child labor laws in California were stricter. And because they had Sean Carson, the little brother.
Yeah, plays Joey.
Yeah, so they decided to move down to Miami. Plus, I don't know, it's like where all the carnivals go at the end of the season.
Oh, like where they stock everything back?
Yeah, it's in Miami also.
Okay.
So... yeah, so
they had
did
everything
that.
handy.
Yeah, everything was handy. It was Universal Pictures, so they was able to use a lot of The Bride of Frankenstein is in it, and a lot of Frankenstein masks and Dracula stuff is in it.
I didn't even think about that they would need licensing to do that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of Frankenstein monster in this movie.
Yeah, so you didn't need to pay for that licensing since they owned it. Toby Hooper was bitten by a brown recluse spider during filming.
I think I read that, yeah.
And Sean Carson, who plays Joey Harper, the little brother, he was in 1983's Something Wicked This Way Comes. He played Jim Nightshade.
Yep, and we just talked about that because I just reread the book, and I talked about wanting to watch the movie, which I have not done yet. But,
yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
But that's what I have on fun facts.
What do you have on budget?
Budget, I have $3.7 million.
All right.
That's pretty hefty.
I can kind of see it with the sets and the
Funhouse and all that stuff.
Because all that stuff was pretty elaborate.
And it was all real stuff.
Yeah.
It was not...
all the animatronics.
It was not a carnival already set up. They actually built a carnival. It was real carnival stuff. But
it wasn't... Yeah. They set it up for this.
Right. And I do have a box office, so 3.7 million budget, a box office 7.9 million, so not bad, but not great.
Yeah, doubled up. Okay. Well, Rotten Tomatoes on this movie is decent. It has a 68% tomato meter critic score, but a pretty significantly lower 46% popcorn meter. Yeah. So critics liked this more than fans. And I actually read that I believe it was, I can't remember if it was Siskel or Ebert, but one of them actually really liked it and like spoke highly of it in the review.
Okay.
But I want to say it was Siskel, but I could be wrong. I just recently was talking to Todd about, because he's a fan of one of, I can't remember which one, but one of them, because he had a tendency to talk positively of some lower budget horror stuff.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same one, but. So yeah, 68 and 46 on the tomato meter and the popcorn meter. I have another fun fact that comes up pretty quickly in the movie. Or maybe I don't know if it's. Well, I guess it's a fun fact. It's an interesting fact. Something that stood out to me anyway. So we'll do that. So you got anything else before we get into it?
I don't.
All right. Well, that is your warning. If you have not seen the Funhouse, take a time out and go rent it or buy it digitally or physically. Find a way to watch it, and then come on back and we will walk you through.
Come along now, if you're not too scared.
The Funhouse opens with some pretty cool credits, I must say.
Yeah.
It's just black screen with text, but it's got creepy Funhouse music, like the organ stuff, and then all these animatronic things that are in the movie, in the Funhouse, are like imposed on this black screen next to the credits, and they're just cackling and rocking around. There's like a lady in a rocking chair holding this long knife, and it's pretty cool, pretty effective. I like it. And so you get nothing but that for a little bit. So then it opens up with a POV scene of a bedroom, and you can't really tell if it's a kid's room or not right away. It sort of is, but there's some weird shit on the walls. There's like chains hanging on the walls. There's a Frankenstein mask. We talked about their free licensing on that. But it's you're just seeing it from the POV of the camera, and there's walking around just kind of messing with stuff, and then we're cutting to a girl getting ready to get in the shower, and then she does get in the shower, and we get nudity right away. And this was the thing that I said I'd get to right away. So I don't know about you, but she looks very young.
She does.
So and she takes her robe off, and you see her. You don't see anything but her boobs, but it's very clear. So I looked it up, and she was 18 when they so it was barely legal.
Fresh 18 too.
I even read one thing that said she was 17 during filming and turned 8 but was 18 by the time the movie came out, which I don't think that would fly because she would have been underage when they filmed it. And I don't think that, so maybe that wasn't accurate, but so yeah, she is just barely for this to not be a whole different situation.
All right. She was so young. I wasn't a big fan of that scene.
It's weird.
They didn't need it.
Right. And that's not the only time in the movie either, but it's almost jarring because she looks very young. Like this is a rare case where a teenager in a horror movie is played by a genuine teenager that is the age they're playing.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they needed it in there. Right. I guess we'll touch more on this during our rating and review.
Right, but boobs in horror movies are a thing. Yeah. Like everybody enjoys that.
Yeah.
But she is borderline too young
we
for that.
both have teenage daughters, and it's hits close to home when you have teenage daughters, and it's very unnecessary, I think. Yeah,
and this scene gets even more weird because so she gets in the shower, and then their POV is back in the bedroom. They take a knife off of the wall and then a clown mask, and then you get the mask goes over, so you're looking through the mask holes, which this is Halloween all day.
And I think he's doing that. I think he's paying homage to John Carpenter. I'm pretty sure.
I definitely agree. So you hear the heavy breathing through the masks. So the POV goes into the bathroom, yanks the shower curtain back, and the girl's screaming.
Very reminiscent of another movie.
Yes. Got a little bit of Psycho going here. So,
and again,
it's intentional.
I hear like critics saying, "Oh, they stole that." And
I think this is
paying homage,
right? Like these are legendary scenes, and he's tipping the cap to it.
Right,
that's how I agree. That's how I feel about it. So he starts stabbing her. The girl's screaming, and then she grabs his wrist to stop him, and he like overpowers her, and the knife comes in real slow on her stomach, and then the knife hits her, and it just folds in half because it's rubber. And she realizes who it is, and she screams. It's her brother Joey, and she rips the mask off and screams at him, which that's a little awkward too, because he's. I mean, obviously, when they filmed it, I'm sure they had managed to make things okay, but just in the movie sense, it's pretty weird that this kid he's a 13, 14-year-old boy and his 18-year-old naked sister, and he's just, it was a little weird. Strange section of the movie here. Yeah. But she chases after him, puts a robe on, and goes after him, and she runs to the bedroom, and she sees what looks like him laying in the bed with the blankets over him, and she pulls it down, and it's like a ventriloquist dummy with a knife stuck in its head. And then she goes to the closet and opens up the closet, and he snaps a picture of her, and she drags him out and rips his ass, and just tells him that she's going to get him back so bad that he'll never forget it, and just tears him a new one. She tells him that she won't take him to the carnival this weekend, and that she mentions that she's going tonight, and that like it's punishment for that. I guess she was going to take him that weekend too. So anyway, now we cut to downstairs. The parents are watching The Bride of Frankenstein on TV. Mm-hmm. Another thing, and there was the Frankenstein poster upstairs and a couple different ones, I believe. So and that's not the only time this is going to come up. So they're watching Frankenstein, and Amy is the girl. She's our main character. She comes down. She's getting ready to leave. They ask her, or she asks him what time it is, but he tells her he doesn't want her to go to that carnival because it's the same carnival last year where they found the bodies of those two girls. And then the mom is more concerned because she's going on a date with a guy who works at the fuel station. She seems a little snobby. Yeah. So we get the gist. She's getting picked up, sort of a first date kind of deal. Her brother Joey's hiding up on the stairs, watching through the railing of all this going down.
She does lie to her dad too, and tells her she's going to the movies.
Yeah. So he pulls up to get her, so she leaves, and then mom hears Joey on the stairs and yells at him to get back to bed. So he goes upstairs. So now Amy's outside, and we meet Buzz, her date. From the fuel station, and she for her benefit, she does try to do what her dad said, and she pitches maybe we'll just go to the movies because her dad doesn't want to go to the carnival, but he's not interested in going to the movies, and he kind of offends her a little bit, saying something about her dad. But he mentions so it gets awkward for a second, but he says like we have to pick your friends up, right, Liz and Richie. So they kind of let it go, and they leave and go get her friends. So then we have the car full, and we meet Liz and Richie. So it's a double date, and they are smoking a doobie on the way. Amy's being real awkward and shy. Yeah. So
she's very, very innocent.
Yes. So it's a not great start to this date with Buzz. Liz leans up in the seat behind her and tells her to loosen up a little bit. So then we see Joey has left the house. He climbed out his upstairs window and climbed down the trellis. I always thought it'd be cool to have a house with a trellis where you could do that. I lived in a single-story house. So he is going to go. Well, how old do you think he is?
I would 13? Say 12, 13, yeah.
Pretty strong-willed little fella. Yeah. So we don't know it yet, but he's sneaking out, and we assume he's going to go to the carnival. So we see him climb down and take off, and then our double date gang gets to the carnival. Buzz and Amy stay in the car and talk it out a little bit. He asks her if he did something wrong, but she kind of softens up, and things they let bygones be bygones, and they go on into the carnival. And then we see Buzz doing the test of strength game where you swing the big hammer and hit the mallet on the thing, and he wins her a stuffed panda bear. And then they see him riding some rides. And Amy's coming around to Buzz. As it goes, you can see her loosening up and starting to have a good time and leaning in and smiling and stuff. Then we get a scene where Amy and Liz are in the bathroom, And Liz is she's kind of giving Amy a hard time about being a virgin. It's like,
tonight might be the
yeah,
night.
right. You may not be a virgin forever after all. And
Buzz is a hottie, and
right.
you might get some of that.
Right. She asked him how he's going, and she says that she says like it's going all right. And he's all right. He's a hunk. Which Buzz is a jacked up dude. Which I did read he was 30.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him.
Holy shit.
So yeah, Amy is played by a genuine 18-year-old, and he is 30 in that movie. So, but yeah, they're kind of playfully talking about the dates, and then this creepy old woman, witchy-looking lady comes in and starts harassing them, telling them that she tells them that God is watching you, He hears everything, and just making them uncomfortable. So we cut back now. Joey's walking on his way to the carnival, and a guy in a pickup truck pulls up next to him and asks him what he's going or what he's doing and where he's heading. And then he pulls a shotgun out and like what's the word I'm looking for? Like pumps it. Yeah. And Joey just takes off running. That dude just starts cracking up laughing. Just got a weird scene. So the gang back at the carnival, they head into a freak show, which is mostly like an animal freak show. So they see there's a cow with a cleft palate, and I put the quote here because it was funny. Richie's a bit of a jokester, but he says it looks like Larry Latner, our gym teacher.
The big cleft lip and tongues going up between the cleft lip and stuff.
Yeah. There's a two-headed cow also, and then they find this section in the tent that says feature attraction. So they go in there, and it's this it's like a humanoid fetus thing, some like deformed thing in a jar.
Yeah.
And Richie said it, he's reading a little placard thing. He's like, born to Mr. and Mrs. Latner, Cedar Falls, Iowa. Really laying it to the gym teacher. The girls don't like it. They're grossed out, so they leave. And then Buzz is looking at it, and he cuts his finger on the jar that it's in. And Richie comes over to look at it, and he holds it up right to his face, and then he just smears the blood on his face. And it's just dudes goofing off.
Yeah.
And I feel like this camaraderie between them, it feels pretty genuine. I think like they feel like real double date kind of thing. Like I buy it. So we see a carnival barker for a peep show, and it's funny because he's out there doing the spiel, and then one of the peep show girls is up there, and she's wearing a robe. And then he tells her, he's like, take a look at my sister.
Yeah, it's my sister.
Mona, I believe was her name. And so they see that. Then they see a barker for the Funhouse, which he's pretty creepy. Like the way he's doing is like terrifying.
Yeah. Again, that's Kevin Conway
playing both of those guys. Yeah.
And the beginning when they go into the freak show.
Yeah.
For the animals.
Yeah. Same dude plays all three. So then they end up going into a magic show, and then so they go in. But before we see the magic show, we see Joey has made it to the carnival and he buys his ticket. He asks the ticket teller person if he's seen two couples on a double date, and she just blows them off because obviously she's seen a ton of them.
Yeah.
So
she says, "I'm not the fortune teller, kid."
Right. So in the magic show, the magician has a coffin up on the stage, and he asks for a volunteer. Well, he picks this girl from the crowd, and it's like a coffin with a viewing window at the top where the head would be. And so he puts this girl in it. She's real nervous, and he tells the story of Vlad the Impaler, which is the true air quote story of Dracula.
Yeah.
And there's a hole like where the heart would be on this coffin. And then he calls this trick the Impaler, and he takes this wooden stake and sticks it in the hole, and then he hits it with a hammer, and when he hits it, blood sprays out of her mouth, and everybody's panicking in the audience, and he's pretending to panic. It's like, oh, turn on the lights, and then he opens it up, and it's part of the show. She's just in her magic outfit, and it's his daughter. It reveals it to be his daughter, Carmilla, which Carmilla is a old vampire story that predates Dracula.
Yeah, lesbian.
the lesbian vampire, Camilla. Yep. Have you read that? I think I told you about it.
I put it on, and I started listening to it, and
It's
wasn't
a little
my
rough,
thing.
yeah. And it's not real long, but it's older than Dracula, so it's old timey writing.
Mm-hmm.
Not the easiest thing to get through, but a nod with the Vlad the Impaler and then Carmilla. The gang is now re-upping on their buzz, smoking more weed, and Amy is partaking this time. She did not smoke in the car, so she's loosened up enough that she's smoking. And then they go to the fortune teller, Madame Zena. She tells Amy's fortune while the others are goofing off on the couch, and it basically just goes terribly because the others won't quit laughing and cutting up and being dumbasses. And she tells Amy that a tall, dark stranger will enter her life, or will enter and change her life. But then they just keep heckling her and laughing. She gets pissed and runs them out. She tells them, "Don't come back or I'll break every bone in your fucking bodies." So she breaks character and just runs them off. So now we see Amy and Buzz are making out behind the food tent. Get some more clips of Joey wandering around the carnival. And he goes up to the Funhouse. And there is a man wearing a Frankenstein mask. Basically a whole Frankenstein costume, but it's a big, loose, like Universal Monster Frankenstein mask. And the almost like the Hulk hands, like the big rubber hand things. And he is loading people onto the Funhouse carts and pushing them into the ride. So he works for the carnival, and Joey gets on and rides through that. And then we are now back to the peep show, and the carnival barker he keeps saying they wiggle and they dance, they wiggle and they dance. So our double date gang heads around to the back of the tent because I guess they can't really, or they don't want to pay to get in, so they go around to the back, and Buzz cuts a hole in the tent, and they're peeking through, and they got 3 strippers in there with pasties on, wiggling and dancing. That's what they do. And so they're peeking in there, and then Liz walks around to the end of the tent and finds another old guy doing the same thing,
he's
and
peeping.
Right, so they run him off. So around that time, Amy says that's getting to be time to go home. It's getting late. But then Richie comes up with his idea that they should spend the night in the Funhouse. He knows a couple people that did it 2 years ago, and they agree. Right, and they agree. Well, at least Buzz is on board. He's like, "All right, let's do it." So the girls call their parents and tell them that they're spending the night at the others' houses. So they are gonna hide in the Funhouse and spend the night there. What could go wrong?
Right. No, nothing.
Yeah. Joey, we see he's found them, and he watches them go into the Funhouse. And then we see them riding through a little bit, but then he sees the carts come back out with nobody in them, and the Frankenstein monster guy is standing there, and you can tell he's a little confused too because the carts come out empty, and he's like looking around.
They're just banging into the next one instead of him stopping them.
Right. But so then we see all these weird animatronic things that are in the Funhouse start winding down because they're shutting the power off. It's time to close the carnival. So everything's winding down. Joey doesn't know what to do because he knows that they went in there and they didn't come out. So he's kind of stuck, doesn't know what to do. So he hides outside the Funhouse to look for them. And then there's like a fat lady animatronic on top of the Funhouse, and then she moves on her own. And then the creepy old lady from the bathroom pops up behind him and scares him, so he runs off. He climbs up his big chain link fence and gets outside of the carnival grounds. And then we see him find Buzz's car out in the parking
and he's
parking
like, where
lot.
the hell are they?
All right, so they're not there. So now we cut to the inside of the Funhouse, and the couples are getting busy. They split off and they're making out. Then they hear a noise and they go to check it out. And they find there's a crack in the floor, so they're on the second floor of the Funhouse. And they can see through the floor into the room below, and they see Madame Zena, the fortune teller, is in there with the monster guy.
Yeah.
This is a fun... I've been thinking about how I'm going to explain this. Here we go. So they see Madame Zena in the room with the monster guy wearing the Frankenstein mask. And he makes noises and grunts and groans, but he doesn't really talk. But but it seems like she understands what he's saying because they're all part of this Carney family. So,
Yeah.
and he is trying to give her money. So there's a money box from all the money from the carnival, and he's taking money out of it and trying to give it to her, and she's like, not enough, not enough. And eventually he takes $100 bill out, and she takes it. She's like, you drive a hard bargain, but she takes it. So it turns out that she tells him to go lay down, and he turns the light off. And I put in my notes here, hundos for handies is what we're doing here, because she lays down next to him and starts jerking him off. And that's what the $100 was for. And she tells him not to be afraid. And then she gets down there. She's like, I see you're not afraid. An eager young fella, you all right? So she starts taking care of him, and he turns out to be a very quick draw, and it's over. And then he gets angry because it's already over, and she's like, I know what you're thinking. You want your money back, but all sales are final. So he attacks her, and he slams her into like a breaker panel, and it shorts out the power in the funhouse, and he strangles her to death, basically. He kills her. Not basically, he does. He strangles her to death. So, and the Double Date gang is up watching this whole thing through the crack of the floor.
Like, holy shit.
They know that they're in some shit now, so they need to get out of this funhouse that they so smartly decided to spend the night in. So they go to try to find a way out, and they end up finding the room where that happened, and they see Madame Zena laying on the little mattress there. The monster guy covered her up with a blanket before he left. And then right next to that room, there's a door, and Buzz opens it, and it opens a little bit. So he's watching until the coast is clear so they can get out. And then Richie says he wants to check and make sure she's really dead, so maybe they could help her or whatever. So he goes back into that room alone, and he walks in there, and you see him looking at her, but then he goes the other way, and you don't see what he does, but it's kind of suggested from before the money box is in there. So I think they kind of show him eyeballing it when they're watching through the floor. So he comes back into the hall and tells them, yep, she's dead. So the coast is clear. They try to go, but then it turns out the door is chained on the other side, so they can't really get out. So they have to find another way. Then we see, so Joey has not given up on trying to find his sister. So he climbs back over the fence and back into the carnival. Now the gang is back to where they were, and they hear the monster guy. I started calling him Frank in my notes.
Yeah.
So they hear Frank, and the Funhouse Barker are down in the room where he killed Xena to fix the break. He came in there to fix the breaker, and then he turns around and he finds Madame Xena laying there, and he flips out on Frank. He's like, you killed one of the family. And he tells him, I don't care what you do with your dirty business with the locals, but not our kind.
Yeah.
So, through dialogue here, we learn that our monster guy has a history of assaulting women, and
he probably killed the girls last year.
Right, yeah, that Amy's dad was talking about. Yeah, I mean, he did. We learned later that these carnival killings are definitely him. So the Barker decides he's like, let me think, and we'll figure this out. So he sits down. He's like, we'll blame it on the locals, and we'll just dump her body somewhere and say the locals did it. And then the Frankenstein guy gives him the $100 bill that he took, and he's like, you gave her $100? He's like, I could have got one of the tent girls to do it for $50. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. And so he goes to put the 100 back in the cash box, but then the Barker sees that all the money is gone, so he flips out again, thinking that the monster took it all. And so he's yelling at him, and he's hitting himself in the head and stuff. And he even tells him, like, hit yourself, boy, or I'm gonna hit you. So, and there's like it is a father-son relationship here. Like, it isn't really laid out yet, but it is. So while this is going on, the gang is watching all this happen through that crack in the floor back upstairs where they are. And then Richie has a cigarette lighter in his shirt pocket, and it falls out while he's leaned over, falls through the crack, and hits the floor. So the barker hears it, he picks it up, and he knows that someone is here, someone's upstairs. So he's shining his flashlight, trying to get him to come down. It's like, I just want to talk to you. And they're being quiet, not falling for it. And so he's like, fine, have it your way. And then I thought I like the line. He flips the lighter and he's like, finders keepers, losers weepers. Cut back up to the gang. Buzz confronts Richie about the money, and you see that when the barker opens that box and he's like, "What'd you do with the money?" They cut up, and Buzz looks up and like gives a mean mug to Richie because he knows what happened.
Yeah.
So he confronts him about the money, and Richie's like, I thought we were getting out of here and we could split it. They're fighting, but then they hear something move. We cut outside, and we see Joey's back at the Funhouse poking around trying to find any sign of his sister. The gang is back inside trying to find a way out. They're trying to find a way out. Joey can't find a way in. And then we see Joey on the bottom railing of the front of the Funhouse. They've got flags hanging there, and he pulls back one of the flags and looks in it. Our monster guy, or no, I skipped a part here. In the scene where the monster's flipping out because the barker thinks he took all the money, he rips his mask off, and we see him without his mask, and he is a deformed, white-haired freak.
Fella.
Like it looks like he has 3 noses almost, and just drooling everywhere. It's pretty gnarly.
Almost looks like that little embryo or fetus that was in that jar.
Yeah, just a full-grown version of it.
Yeah,
really. I mean, it's pretty good effects. Like that's the Rick Baker touch there.
Yeah,
like it looks pretty gnarly. Pretty creepy. He's got his hands are all messed up too, like basically just big claws, and that's why he wears some Frankenstein hands too. So I forgot about that. So outside, Joey's looking in there, and then we see those big hands come busting through and try to grab him. So he gets loose and runs away, but then another carny guy is there and catches him and grabs him up. Back inside, the gang is wandering around. The power comes back on, and Buzz grabs an axe and a knife like from the displays. He gives the knife to Richie. We see another scene where the barker is talking to Monster, trying to get him back on his good side, trying to soften him up where he was yelling at him. This is the scene where we kind of learn that if he's not actually his dad, he's at least a father figure to him. He's been protecting him from all of his crimes while they're touring on their carnival tour. And what you alluded to, he mentions his little brother Tad on display.
Yeah.
So that is the
fetus.
feature event thing in the freak show was this guy's little brother that didn't develop. And so he tells him he doesn't want that to happen to him, and if he does this one more thing for him, he'll take him fishing or whatever he wants. Well, his one more thing is he wants him to help kill these people that are trespassing in the Funhouse, and saw what he did. So the gang is they're hiding out, and Richie he's telling the story to him about how when he was a kid, he was hiding in a closet to scare his little brother or something. But then he got this crazy idea that what if his brother was hiding outside waiting for him to come out to scare him? It's I think the point of this was just kind of relay, like, we're hiding to try to surprise somebody, but what if they're hiding to surprise us?
We might be in here
and
all
then
night.
And then that's exactly what happens, because then a skeleton animatronic pops up and scares the shit out of them. They stand up. And then a noose drops down around Richie's neck and just yanks him right up and kills him. He's hung up, strung up, like it's a high ceiling, so his feet are above their heads and they can't even reach him. So Liz is losing her shit because Richie just got killed. So now, and then we cut to inside a trailer in the carnival, and Joey and Amy's parents are there to pick up Joey because the carny
nice guy.
Actually called, somehow got there and figured out their phone number, because this is the 80s. It wasn't cell phones or anything, but somehow figured out how to get a hold of this kid's parents and called him to come and get him from the carnival. So they're there trying to understand what happened with him. Then we cut back to the Funhouse. So Buzz, Amy, and Liz are walking around trying to find a way out. still, and then one of the Funhouse carts comes riding toward them in the dark, and you can see somebody sitting in it, but you can't see him because of the way the lights are. And it rolls up, and Buzz still has that axe, and he chops him right in the head, and it turns out to be Richie.
Yeah, Richie's
sitting.
body.
Richie's body is sitting in there, so he just chopped him in the head. And then it's all still on the rail, so it just keeps on going, and Liz runs after him, and then she falls through a trap door. Buzz tries to open it and break through it, but he can't get it open. We're back outside. We see the parents taking Joey out to the car, and he's awake now, and he's staring at the funhouse, but he won't speak. And actually, I don't think he ever speaks at all in the whole movie. Does he have any dialogue at all?
I
don't,
matter of fact, I don't think
he does.
Except when he asked the lady at the ticket booth.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If you've seen two people on a double date.
That's the only time he speaks in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I think he might just be traumatized, so he's in shock and he can't talk, but he's just staring at the funhouse, and Dad's like, "What's the matter, Joey?" But he won't say anything. When he's looking at the funhouse, you can hear a voiceover of him remembering Amy yelling at him from the beginning of the movie that she was going to get him so bad he'd never forget it.
Yeah.
So maybe he's wondering if this is a prank on him or something. So he doesn't say anything. But we see inside the funhouse, Amy has found like a vent fan that's running.
Yeah, a big ventilation fan.
Yeah, and she can see out, and she sees her mom and dad with Joey getting in the car, and she's just screaming her heart out for her dad.
But the noise of the ventilation fan
just
is
kills
really
it.
loud.
Yeah, and so
nobody hears it.
So
that's got to be brutal to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your safety net's right there.
Yeah, that's the way out, and it's brutal. And she does a great job. Like her screams are
she
good.
Does.
Like she does a hell of a job selling that. But they don't hear her, so they get in the car and drive away. Then we cut to Liz wakes up in a vent shaft with a fan. It's very similar fan running at the end of it, where she had fallen through the trap door. Our monster appears in the vent, and he comes walking up to her inside there, and she's trying to bargain with him. She's like, "I know you like girls. I can be nice to you, and you don't have to pay me." And he's like, "I can make you feel good." And he comes up and like pulls her in and starts hugging on her and stuff. And she still has the knife that Richie had. She was holding it when she fell through the trap door. So while he's hugging her, she stabs him in the back, but it doesn't really faze him too much, and he just starts beats her down and slashing the shit out of her. And it cuts kind of back and forth between him just slicing her up, and then Buzz and Amy up in the fun house and back to her. Like 3 different times you see him just tearing into her. So Buzz and Amy are now looking for a way out again. This time the Barker guy shows up with a gun. Richie comes rolling along on the cart again, which is kind of funny. It just comes trucking along with an axe in his head. Buzz tries to take the gun away from the Barker, and then they get into a fight. Buzz ends up shoving him onto a sword. There's a suit of armor holding a sword out, and he shoves the Barker onto it, and it impales him through the back and out the stomach. And he collapses on the sword. So you think he's dead. Then Buzz goes back up to him to see if he has keys, and the Barker comes back to life. Of course he does. And he grabs Buzz and tries to pull him onto the sword with him, and the blade pierces his stomach a little bit, but it's not enough. And Buzz shoots him and kills him. And then he's okay. He steps away. He's just got a little nick on his stomach. And he's going back to Amy, but then the monster drops from the ceiling, and he sees that the Barker, his dad, or father figure at least, is dead, and he flips out. Amy runs away, and we hear a gunshot. So she stops, and she's waiting for Buzz to come back. And then these automatic doors open up, and an animatronic thing comes riding out, and it's holding Buzz's body. So Frank, the monster, Frank, whatever you call him, he killed Buzz. So now Amy is alone. She runs away. She's now alone in the funhouse with the monster. She makes it back to the room where Madame Zena was killed, and she finds Liz's body is now laying there with her on the tarp, and her face is all slashed up. She bolts the door, but the monster breaks through, And she escapes through this hatch, and she kind of climbs down into this mechanical room that's underneath the funhouse.
Gears and stuff running the
chain,
cars.
like pulleys and shit running around. There's a door there, but it's padlocked, so she finds another door, and it's chained from the outside, and then the monster shows up for a final showdown. She fights him with a crowbar. He yanks it out of her hand, but then he accidentally sticks it into a power box and electrocutes himself. And then he gets caught in the chain, like the pulleys that are going around. So he gets hung up in the chains and is dragging him around. But he's still alive and he's grabbing at her. And he ends up getting pulled in between these two giant gear cogs. And it locks everything up and it just pins him in there. And he's still holding on to her, trying to pull her in too. But ultimately, she gets away from him and he gets crushed in there. And that locking of the gears kind of causes pressure throughout the system of the funhouse, and the walls start shaking, and the whole foundation's kind of tearing up from this jam, causing things to collapse. So now we cut to morning, and Amy is able to get out of the funhouse through the debris from where it was starting to fall apart, and she walks out away from the building. That fat lady animatronic on top of the building, she turns around and looks at it, and it comes to life and starts laughing at her. And then the camera kind of pans away, and she just wanders off through a crowd of carnies who are just packing up, doing their everyday carny stuff. And we just kind of fade out.
Yep.
That is the Funhouse.
Yes.
All right. That'll cover the walkthrough, so we will go ahead and transition into our official Never Not Horror Howls rating and review.
Now that we've seen what there is to see, how many Never Not Horror Howls will be given?
All right. I will go first since this was my pick. This is a tough one. I feel like there are usually a lot of them are kind of tough to do, but there are a lot of things that I like about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the acting is pretty good. I love the carnival setting. I think there are some really obvious ties to similar themes from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
With like the family, with the Barker and the monster and Madame Zena, the Carney family stuff, like reminiscent of the Sawyer family. Were they even called that in the first movie?
I don't think they
so.
do until
later
the next
movies.
one,
It's the Sawyers, but yeah. It almost feels to me like there's so many hints of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in it that it feels to me like it would have made more sense if this movie was made before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that was like testing the waters, and then you hit the home run to where this is the opposite, where
I guess
like 7 years later, some of the same stuff was going on, but it's just not nearly as effective. And I mean, there's just some pacing's a little weird, like nothing really happens until the horror stuff doesn't happen at all until like the last half hour or so of the movie, which I don't mind the beginning. It's a weird movie, like kind of similar to your thoughts on Sleepaway Camp, that it's a movie that had a ton of flaws in it for sure, but it was still really entertaining, and you had like nostalgia with it, to where I don't with this movie. But with this movie, there's stuff that I liked a lot, even though I know it's not that great of a movie. Like, it's not really that good. And I watched it twice, specifically because I had never seen it. So I watched it once, just watching it without taking notes or anything, just to watch the movie. And then I watched it again to do my notes. And then walking through it this time, like, it's kind of a diminishing return the more I get into it. Like, I liked it more the first time I watched it, and then after talking through it, it's like it just keeps dropping. So I don't mean to say I don't like it. Like, I did like it, but it was just compared to some of the other stuff we've covered. This is definitely not a top tier movie.
Okay,
well made. I mean, I'm really on the fence. Like, I'm gonna watch this again. Like, there's no if about, like, I will definitely watch this movie again, because there are parts of it that I do really like the carnival setting. The monster is really cool looking. I think the acting between the Barker and the monster is really solid. So stuff I liked for sure, but when it comes to Never Not Horror Howls, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5.
Okay.
3 because...
3 out of 5 howls.
Right. Yeah.
All right, for me, I'm going to start with some good stuff that I enjoyed about the movie first.
Yep.
I think Kevin Conway was amazing.
He is really good.
He was so amazing. I will say how Rob Zombie did not grab hold of this guy and put him in one of his movies. I don't know. He would have worked perfectly in A House 1,000 Corpses. I mean, he was amazing. He's got a great voice, a great look. He looks like a psychopath. I mean, he hands down was the best actor in this
for sure
film.
Yeah, what you saying that too, I feel like there was a lot of stuff in the movie that made me feel like Rob Zombie probably likes this movie and pulled from it.
Yeah, when he made House with the Death Ride, the Murder Ride in House 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah.
He had to have. And so it had to cross his mind that, and maybe he did reach out to Kevin Conway and he was busy or something, but man, I think he would have been perfect for that role. I loved his voice, and he's doing the barking. He's like, come see them. They're authentic. They're alive, alive, alive. Yeah, and it was great. I mean, he looked like a perfect barker for carnival.
He is still alive?
I think he passed away in 2025 or 2024.
In 2020.
Oh, 2020.
So he was definitely alive for the House of Corpses.
Yeah, for sure. The setting. You mentioned the setting was great. I love how he pulled back at the end. Yeah, and you got the whole view of the whole carnival. I think it was awesome. Them using actual animatronics that from carnivals, and I heard they were like now or at the time that I listened to the director commentary. At the time of the director commentary, which would have been 20 years after the movie was made, or 30 years, whatever, whenever they did that, they were already like 50 years old. So at the time of the commentary, they were like 100 years old. You know, so very old vintage pieces that look really creepy. Yeah. Because, you know, vintage horror just, I think it blows away decorations nowadays and masks and stuff. I love how they paid homage in the beginning to Psycho and Halloween and the Universal monsters throughout the movie. I think was awesome. And that's kind of like free props for them to use because it's Universal made it. So that's my good with Kevin Conway being the
I agree with
top.
you there.
Now we'll get into the bad. The bad is, I think it is just an absolutely awful script. I didn't like it at all. There's holes in it. I didn't understand the old lady. I was expecting for her. She was awful too. She didn't look good.
She looked like just a TV movie witch.
And there was no payoff with her.
Yeah, there were a lot of loose threads. Like the magician,
at all.
There was nothing ever came of him.
And even besides that, there was more no payoff. Like, why was the little brother even at the carnival?
Yeah,
unless you needed the dad to come to pick him up.
Right, and I give that scene where she's screaming in the exhaust fan to try to get his attention is effective.
But we could have got the parents there for some other reason.
Yeah, otherwise he's basically a waste.
Yeah, he was a waste. I don't think you needed him in there at all. So holes there. The main characters, I think the guy that played Buzz was the best of the bunch. Yeah, he was a likable, funny, kind of bullish guy. Yeah. Richie wasn't bad. The one girl, Liz, I can't even picture. I don't even know if she had blonde, black, brown hair as we sit here right now.
It was blonde.
I mean, she was just a generic person. Yeah. And our main character, Amy. She, she didn't do a whole lot in the movie. There was not a lot of speaking roles, so I'm thinking like her innocence was what made you like her.
Yeah.
But then at the beginning of the movie, you take her innocence away by showing her boobies.
Immediately, yeah.
You know, so I think that kind of pulled back on us giving a shit a whole lot about her. I mean, you still care for her. She's cute as a button.
Yeah.
And you hope she gets out, but if she doesn't, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they gave enough backstory on these characters. And you didn't need a whole lot. I mean, you could have cut out the little brother. You could have cut out the witch lady or the old homeless lady, and given a little more character to these the core four. You liked it. You mentioned you liked it. I did not like the monster. I did not like it at all. It was too, not that it didn't look good, but it was too far gone. It was too monster. I wanted a more realistic looking handicap person. I mean, this guy looked like a monster.
Yes. Yeah.
Sharp teeth.
Right. It wasn't a I mean, it was more than a deformity.
I think it would have made it better if he wasn't too much of a monster. If he was more just like a person that would perform at a freak show. Yeah. But I did like him having a Frankenstein mask on throughout the movie. And you see him in the backdrop. But then at the end, it's just, I didn't care for it.
I would have been okay if he never took the Frankenstein mask off.
Yeah, I would have too.
Yeah.
And I will say he was kind of too small for me. I know he's supposed to be the son, but...
He was short, because there's a scene where he walks by the double date people.
Yeah, he's
the fairway or whatever. And he's like the same height as the girls.
Yeah, I want to see like when I have my killer, I want to see Gunnar Hansen or the guy that played Jason Voorhees, the big
Kane
strapping, just a big son of a gun.
Yeah,
and he's just so meek and small.
Yeah,
so that kind of was a miss for me, big time. And the kills, I didn't like the kills at all. The one where Kevin Conway gets put into the sword. Mm-hmm. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
The monster hitting the electric thing. It was kind of, I know that didn't kill him, but that's like the girl didn't even do nothing.
Yeah.
He was going back to hit her with a crowbar and hit the.
Yeah. She survived the final encounter just by being extremely lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so my bads way much outweigh the goods.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say enough good things about Kevin Conway. I think he was amazing in it. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I was pretty bored with it.
Yeah.
And when I watched it last year during Halloween, I had a better time with it. I've watched it like 3 times. I watched it once, and I watched it with the director commentary. And then I watched it again. And it kept getting worse and worse.
That was my experience as well.
Yeah. And it didn't make a lot of sense. But I think I can see why he took it. It was like why Toby Hooper took this job, because I think, you hear carnival and you hear killer, and it seems like I think there is material there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious to read the Dean Koontz
the novelization
of it, because it's got to be better than the actual.
Coincidentally, I actually picked it up on Audible today. I read it when I was a teenager, but I don't remember much about it. But I'm gonna reread it.
Yeah, I probably will read it also, or listen to it on audio. So I'm going to get to my
I can't wait.
Never Not Horror House. I'm going to give the Funhouse, and I have it wrote down here, and I'm not going to change it. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 house.
All right. I think that's fair.
And I think Kevin Conway, if he was not in it, it would have been a 1.5 or a 1 or a 1.5. And I hate to say that, because I love Toby Hooper. I love Rick Baker. Yeah. I think you got 2 legends right there.
Yeah.
Man, it's just... And like I said, there was promising material.
Yeah. But, I agree. And definitely not their best work.
No.
And I give it a 3 pretty much just based on I love that setting, the carnival setting.
It is.
I mean,
it's like a character.
It takes me back to being a kid at the carnival in the Camden Carnival, the hometown.
Going to Camden Carnival. I think I went to 5 years in a row to that. I had a blast.
Right. I mean, there's stuff there that's nostalgia, but I get it. I mean, it's definitely not a good movie. It's not a great movie by any means. Maybe not even a good movie.
Right. There's a lot of things that I would have done different. And
I mean, to what I said, like, it almost feels like this was. I would have believed you if this came out before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this was like an early attempt, and then he figured it out and like knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And
exactly, I feel you.
Okay.
I'm not one of those guys, but this movie, I think could use a remake. And I'm normally not a guy that likes remakes. Yeah. But I think this one, like I said, there is material there.
Yeah.
A Funhouse, a freak show, some horny kids.
Yeah.
I think there's something there.
To my knowledge, there's not a real remake. I mean, there are a lot of movies, slasher set in carnivals that are reminiscent of this. Yeah. And some of those are pretty good. But
I would love a remake. I'd be all about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's the Funhouse. So that's a cumulative 2.5 between us, which will not get it on the ballot.
Not eligible.
Not on the Hall of Fame next year. So tough break for the Funhouse, but not all bad. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, check it out.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Just to see Kevin Conway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some bright spots in it. So. All right. Well, that will do it for our coverage and deep dive review of the Funhouse. So if you enjoyed the show, please like, rate, review, do what you do, tell your friends about Never Not Horror. If you want to follow us outside of the show, go to youtube.com, search Rich Hansel, and you'll find his channel. Go to steveclarkbooks.com, and you'll find my book stuff. We have merch, nevernothorror.dashery.com, and you can pick up some swag if you're into that. Next week will be Quick Cuts, and the Tales from the Crypt series continues. This time we are going to be talking the back half of Season 2, so episodes 10 through 18.
Yep.
So we are going to walk through those, and then we're going to rank those 9 episodes, and then we're going to knock out our Season 2 overall ranking. So come back for that. Those are available on Shudder if you want to watch and tag along. So, help spread the word, leave reviews, tell people about Never Not Horror. Any free advertising we get is helpful. So, pass the word along and help us get out. So, do all the things and come back next week where whatever it is, it's never not horror.
Oh, yeah.
Slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.